girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now.
All right, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Morning, guys. Welcome back. All the usual suspects here today. Morning, guys. Welcome. J-Hole. It's J-Hole Day. The J-Hole. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy J-Hole Day. What a stupid name. You ready for Jackson's Hole? Yeah, me too, son. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Yesterday was a swinging away. Oh, geez, what am I bleeding for? Cut myself on something here. Oh, I don't want to flick you off. Yesterday was a swing and a miss for me, man. Swing and a miss. Missed it. Missed it. So, sucks, man. It's not even about the loss. It's about how much opportunity there was. There was a lot of opportunity yesterday. Being on the right side of the market yesterday was the move, man. What a nice action. Nice action, right? Some nice volatility, some nice follow through. We finally saw some nice follow through. So it hurts to not catch it. Morning, Brad. What's up, man? Long time no see. What's going on, Brad? Yeah, just it hurt to not be on the right side of the move yesterday. Took my loss pretty early and just sort of walked. It was just too aggressive by the time I was out, and I just felt like I would just be chasing at that point. So yeah, some really nice stuff and a very explainable rejection, a very explainable downside, break and retest action all day. Yeah, I know my lips are still not in sync. I'm still trying to figure out how to fix that, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, lost about 4,700 yesterday. So, yeah, nothing that's, technically a drop in the bucket for the account. Just it's about 3% loss. So, nothing crazy, but still just, it hurt to not be on the right side of it. So, unfortunate, but we move forward. That's what we do in trading. So, we'll move forward. We'll find the right move today. There were some very clear reasons why we rejected yesterday. It was that 56.60 level on the ES, man. That 56.60 level that we had game planned for was the fail, and that was part of the game plan. So that 56.60 failure was part of the game plan, and that is exactly what came in. I just did not play the game plan. So there is just a good example, guys, of It's a fantastic reminder of no matter how experienced, no matter how, good you are as a trader, you can slip up on any day, right? It's just any day. There's no guarantee that you're going to be doing the right thing every day, right? So it's all about keeping the risk management, right? It's all about the risk management, because you have one day you slip up, you just have to make sure that you keep it to a comfortable amount, and that's the key, right? So yesterday, a little bit off the game, but today's a new day, and let's get it. So today, Friday, Powell speaking at 10 o'clock, home sales at 10 o'clock, so let's be careful of that. 30 minutes after open. I might even wait 30 minutes to just trade today, guys, because yesterday is my loss. Part of the reason I lost early morning, or part of the reason I lost yesterday is I traded too early, right? I traded too early. I got aggressive too early. I did not wait and did not stay patient for the first 15, 30 minutes, right? So I think that's something I will do today, especially after a red day. I will be very disciplined. That's something I do after my red days. I am very disciplined, like almost painfully disciplined, painfully patient, because I'd almost rather just not even trade and just walk away, and end the week. So I'm going to stay very patient today. I'm going to have a rule for myself. Unless something just absolutely blares out to me, I am going to want to try to wait until Powell speaks today, right? 30 minutes after open, you're probably going to see a bunch of nonsense before that, right? Probably a lot of choppy action, sort of anticipation of this speech by Powell. So I would be very careful over the first 30 minutes of today's market. New home sales as well at 10 o'clock as well. Jackson Hole Symposium. What a word. And basically it's just talking heads for the rest of the day, right? At Jackson Hole. So 10 o'clock Powell, I say we wait for it. And yeah, that's that. Let's go to next week. What's next week looking like? Next week, durable goods Monday, consumer confidence Tuesday, GDP employment claims Thursday, PCE price index Friday. All right, guys, so that's that. The earnings that I want to point out is Cava. Man, Cava's a beast. Cava, welcome to not just 100, but 112 now. So what a hold over that 97, and what an awesome move on earnings, man. Cava, what a beast of a stock. So that's really the earnings I wanted to point out. That thing is hot. All right, Nasdaq. So there is one thing I want to talk about first to start. All right, there's the first thing I want to point out, and then we will jump into some short-term levels. The first thing I want to point out here is this 4-hour level. There's one here, and then there's another that I'm watching. It's these lows over here. So the lows over here on the Nasdaq futures, these lows right here are 58 and 60. So I say that's 19,760, right? That's a major 4-hour low right there, right? 19,760 right here. And then the other low that I'm watching, or the other previous level that I'm watching on this 4-hour, is this previous high right over here, right? So if I zoom out, this is very interesting to me. Take a look at this. So if I take that 760 off just for a second here, something that I'm very intrigued in what could happen today is this previous high, which I think is around that 19,690, right? That's this previous high right here. That is the high, right? If we zoom out, that is the high that caused this August 1st meltdown, right? 19,690, and the 50 SMA is what caused that August 1st meltdown move, right? This was also the level that caused this double top rejection, right, last week, right? 690, 690. So that 18,690 is very important to me. And you can see this morning, it's sort of interesting, right? Because yesterday, when we failed it, we saw, the downside continuation. This morning, you are back above it. So it is very interesting about whether this is a pullback and a hold, right? And this is nothing more than just a little, is this nothing more than just a little pullback to that previous high here, right here, right here, and right here, right? Is this nothing more than just a pullback and a little, little retest of that level, shake out some longs that are maybe getting way too aggressive, right? Sort of greedy longs, shake them out, come back down to this previous high, and is this a hold, right, for more continuation? I think it's very possible, right? And the reason why I think it is possible is because there has nothing changed yesterday, right? There's no like, a big number came out, CPI's hot, nothing really changed yesterday. There's really no catalyst to this move yesterday. So I am not in the boat quite yet that this is like the end is near move, right? Just because we moved down a little bit yesterday after probably being a little bit sort of frothy to the upside, right? A little bit of pullback, right? Right back down to these levels. And that 19,690 level is starting to hold. So the key for me, right? And I think it's very, very clear now. The key to spot today, and maybe it's something you just don't even want to trade today and you want to just sort of monitor. The thing that you need to watch today is, does this hold, right? This is why the title of the live stream is The Must Hold Levels. You have to hold over 690. If you see this today, right, and you start to create this type of move, that is the more downside move right there, okay? If you see the Nasdaq fail back under that high, and you see the Nasdaq fail back under last week's double top, and you do not see it maintain above this level, right? If you see this level right here turn back into a rejection point right here today, that is definitely downside, right? Continuation, in my opinion. So that is sort of the major line in the sand here. That is like okay, which side of the market am I on? If I see this reject today, I am definitely going to have to think that the market could start to see more slippage, right? Because that is a rejection back under that double top high, a rejection back under that August 1st meltdown level, and I think that could be a flip, right? That could be a flip. So today is all about what happens right above this 50 SMA, right above here, right? Do we see this hold strong today? Do we see the willingness to sort of just hold up today? Or do we see this thing fail back under? This is going to be huge today. I think very huge, very important. All right, so besides that level, there are some short-term levels I'd like for you to watch today. The first one is 19,750, right? This is Tuesday's lows. This is this low here, and that's that demand that's sort of been holding up this week. 19,750 is the rejection that's coming in as we speak. So if we can't get above 19,750 today, you will likely see us come back down to that 680, 690 level, all right? You will likely come back down to that level. I don't know why this is, I had it at 690, but I actually think it's more like I'm just leaving it at the 50 SMA, 680. Tuesday's lows, 19,750, is starting to show you rejections right now, right? So look at this. Look at 750. So that is a tough spot. 19,750. If you see this fail today, right, this could be what brings you back down, okay? So you have to see what happens at 750 today. If you reject 750, you're coming back down to 680, 690, okay? If you break under that 50 SMA and stay under it today, that is not good. That is, I believe, weakness. If you get back over 750 today, I think you trade right to 830, okay? If you get over 750 today, you will trade up into this rejection point from yesterday, which is around that 830, right? This is a pretty much straight down move. I would expect this to be pretty straight up if you get that, right? So that is sort of what I'm watching today. I'm watching first the 750. This is Tuesday's lows. We can even mark it out. Tuesday's low. Right? That's Tuesday's lows right there, 19,750, which is rejecting very clearly in the pre-market. if we cannot get above this level today, I would not look to long, right? I would not look to try this bounce long, try this this dip buy. You need to get over this, in my opinion, for a little bit more action today. So if you can get back above that 750, then I think you might be able to catch something towards that 830. Above 830 would be pretty expected to just move right back into these highs. But right now, you are rejecting Tuesday's lows, right? And so that is definitely a reason for weakness here. If you stay under this level today, you will trade back down to that 50, and that is that 19,690. That's that major level. If you fail back under that one today, that is concerning, right? If you fail back under this one today, that 680, that 50 SMA, if you fail back under that, that is likely concerning, back down to 520, possibly back down to that 19.4, right? So very, very key there. That Tuesday low is starting to show you something, guys. So pay attention to that 19,750 today. Okay, let me go to the I'm going to go to the 30-minute here. I'm going to make these, I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to show you the daily chart levels, or like the long-term levels. For me, it's 473. No, I'm sorry, 474. My bad. Let me pull that back up. 474 is like that huge level here on the QQQ. That is, right, if we look at this, let's zoom out. Right, we got to make sure we zoom out here after a big move like that. That is this low, this low, this low, and that high area right there, right? Look at this. Low, 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 right? The market just held this zone previously. And we turned it into rejections here, which caused the meltdown. Now, if we zoom in a little bit more short term, right? Take a look at 474 yesterday. That is the exact low of day, which is very interesting, right? That is very interesting. That is these lows, right? That is the 50 SMA, and that is the exact low of yesterday. That 474 level is potentially, it's, to be quite honest, guy, I know I don't want to sound delusional here, right? Because I'm not. I'm just watching these levels, sort of objectively. That 474 could be the biggest bear trap of this move higher, right? This is a hold above this low, right? This low right here. The low of this structure is 474. That is the exact high that sort of failed on August 1st, and that is the exact level that we're holding in the pre-market and yesterday's lows. That is very interesting, right? It's interesting. So that is very potentially the biggest bear trap of this move higher, right? Big drop, but a beautiful retest of the previous lows and a good test of that level. So it's good that we tested it, right? It's very good. This is what you want the market to test these levels, and it has absolutely tested it in a very emotional state, right? A very emotional way. So that's very interesting, right? There's going to be a big, someone's going to be on the very wrong side of this, right? It's either going to be the bears that are, the late bears shorting into that level and this thing just squeezes back higher, or it's going to be, someone that's looking at this level 474 saying, hey, this might be a big bear trap, and then this thing just really dies, right? So it's interesting. There's definitely it's going to be some fun and games going on here, no doubt. I think it's going to be, this could definitely present to it, give us some opportunity on this market, for sure. So very interesting. That 474 is going to be something to watch. KZen, appreciate that, brother. Who else? I saw someone else. AKA the Closer, appreciate that as well, man. Thank you guys for the donations. But, yeah. Very interesting, right? I'm not going to take a side yet. I'm not. It's way too, it would be totally just egotistical and ridiculous to pretend like I know what's going to happen here. I don't. But I do know that 474 is big. That I do know, right? That is information that's on the charts that I don't need to guess about. That is just very clear, right? That is very clear, right? So that is Very nice. No, it's not. This is not a. I didn't mean bear trap. I didn't mean bull trap. This would be a bear trap, not a bull trap. A bear trap is when it drops aggressively. You get sort of those late chasers on the bear side, and then it holds. This if it's the bears that aren't sort of zooming out, right? Potentially, guys. I'm not saying it's for sure. I'm just making these potential situations. This is potentially a major bear trap because maybe there are some late bears to that move that are not looking at this 474 level and not paying attention to that 50 SMA hold that's starting to come in, right? That is very interesting. This could consolidate still, and this could absolutely do something like this. So 474.010. That's it. That's the level, guys. So I just want to point that out. That's the level you're going to watch in the end of week, right? That's the level that I would be making sure you have, like, really on your charts here. And you just got to say, right, I'm going to put this here, and I'm just going to put major pivot, right? Major pivot level on the QQQ. Let me see if I'm going to put that on there. Major pivot. Right, I need to know that this is huge. I'm going to make it red, and I'm going to make it a thick boy, right there. Just a major pivot at 474. So that is big. That is huge. You got to have that on your charts. 474 Qs, keep an eye on that spot. All right. I hope you sort of see why that's so important. I really do, because that really is a big spot. So going to be a very telling area. Next level I'd watch above is this 476.30. That's these previous highs here from last week. That's sort of a hold that came in today. And then the next level I'd watch is Tuesday's lows. Tuesday's lows is 478.50. The Qs are slightly holding above that right now. Right here. 478.50. This is Tuesday's lows. Okay? Tuesday's lows. That is important as well. Do we hold above that Tuesday low? If we do, if we see support step in here at Tuesday's lows, I would expect us to trade up to that 480, 481 level again. This rejection right here. Yes, the thick boy. That is the thick boy down there. So look at that hold from there yesterday, right? And you can see that that's going to be the major pivot. So very nice. I hope you're getting a little bit more of an idea, right, of how important it is. You got to zoom out here and get the bigger picture, right? Very important, especially after an emotional day. You can't be trading off emotion today. We got to make sure we're zooming out. Okay, where did we move down into? What's important? Where are these downside levels? I think that 474 is huge. ES, another big spot here at the 5,600, guys. 55.95, 5,600. Take a look at this 4-hour chart. Right? Take a look at this 4-hour chart on the ES. Every time I look at this 4-hour chart, I'm being honest with you. I more and more am interested in the long, right? To be honest. I mean, I hate to say it because it's definitely a little bit contrarian after yesterday's move, but every time I look at this chart, I get more and more interested in the long, right? You got the previous highs right here, and you have a pretty nice hold right at that 55.95 yesterday, right? Look at this little area here. Look at the break and retest. Everything according to my strategy would say, hey, if we hold above this previous high like we are here, this is very interesting for that long opportunity. So I'm definitely watching this today. 55.95, 5,600. That is a very interesting hold right there, right? That is a very interesting hold. We'll see, right? We'll see. I'm not going to be doing anything irrational today, right? You have Powell's speech. You have a lot of questions on this market. But I want to make sure I understand the situation, right? I want to understand the situation. That's very important. More than anything else, you got to understand the situation here. This is an interesting watch, right? That's a very interesting watch. You DM me? Okay. On what, Brad? Instagram? So that's definitely something to watch there today, right? We can see here on the hourly chart. See this? Previous highs. See that ES hold that's coming in right there. That is also the previous highs right here. So interesting little hold there on that 55.95, right? 55.95. Now, the level that rejected yesterday, and the thing I want to talk about real quick, and where I went just extremely wrong yesterday, is the long by 56.60. I should have known better. That was a big mistake by me. 55.65, and we even talked about this level in the pre-market live stream. So I'm sure you guys remember it. If you were here on the pre-market live stream, I'm sure you remember me saying, let's be careful at 55.60, 56.60, 56.65, right? That was fully part of my game plan, and I went against it yesterday. And this is what happens when you have that morning game plan and you don't trust it, right? You sort of just go against it when the market starts opening. So you can see right here, we talked about this 56.60 supply right over here, right? See this hourly chart, this right here, right? We talked about that. We talked about these previous lows, right? And we said how the market moving back up into this level could be a rejection, right? Could be a rejection. And that was the perfect, absolutely perfect. I mean, on the money, on the dot failure yesterday. On the dot. So this is why it hurts, right? This is why it hurts. Because this was so clean, so clear yesterday. And I just sort of got blinded by some Nasdaq strength early morning yesterday and some NVIDIA holds over 130. And I just sort of took that shot on NVIDIA and wasn't paying enough attention to this, right? This is why paying attention to our futures levels, our futures supply and demand levels is so crucial to make sure we're on the right side of the market. So that was so clean yesterday, and congratulations to you guys that did catch it and caught the right side of that. That was very nice. So moving forward, right, that is still going to be a very clear supply high, and we have to, understand that we need to watch that today, right? We need to make sure we're watching that today. So let me go ahead and dive down into some short-term levels here for you guys, and we can take a quick peek. So hold on, let me make sure I have, the 55.95 level. That's right around here. I have it around that 55.93, but pretty much the same spot. You can see that area is holding. The next level that I'm watching here is this 56.10, 56.15. That is these Tuesday, Wednesday lows, right? See this? Tuesday, Wednesday lows, right? Right in this 56.10, 56.15 area. That was a nice hold here in the pre-market so far. So I would absolutely be watching if we come back down, if we hold there, right? Right there, 56.10 to 56.15. Watch for a pullback along there today. If we fail back under this level, we will trade back down to that 5600 area, 55.90, okay? To the upside, I would absolutely be watching the 56.30 zone, right? That's right here. 56.30, 56.33 area. I would be very careful into there today, right? That's this rejection here. That's these previous lows, right? I'd be careful into that 56.33 today. That could be a little, sort of retest rejection. So be aware up here. Definitely some caution there. Above that, 56.47, yesterday's rejections, and then ultimately that 56.60 above. So very clean, right? 30, 33, 47, 50. You got the 60, 65 highs. And then you're watching the 56.10, 56.15. This is Tuesday's lows, right? Tuesday's lows. And then that major 4-hour 5600 area. Okay. SPY. Let's go out to that 4-hour chart. Let's take a quick peek at what the SPY did, sort of bigger picture here. And that is right here, right? It's right at that 555. Right? And so again, when I zoom out on this larger term time frame, there is a little bit of a different story, right? When I zoom out on this longer term time frame, I cannot help but look at these lows, right? These highs that we have broken, and that was the low of day yesterday, right? I can't help but say, if these previous highs that kept this market lower turn into a low here, this should help the market higher, right? That is what the market likes to do, right? It likes to turn those previous major rejection points into lows, right? And it's never tested in a, oh my God, it's so clear way, right? The market's always going to, shake some, do a little shake, right? Little bailando, little bailar, right? The market likes to do that shakeout action before it actually starts to do something. So that is why I'm interested, at least interested, right? I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this is it, make a YouTube video about it. You have to buy the market long. This is it, right? That's not the type of person I am. And I know not to be that type of person, because as soon as you're that type of person, you get absolutely humbled by the market and get smacked in the face. So you can have interest, right? And you can have an idea, but we still need to see maybe a little bit more confirmation. But you can see, right, it's pretty clear on this 4-hour chart. You have this very clear double top high that we have moved down into in a very emotional way, and you have held end of day yesterday, right, at 555 in a pretty strong manner, at least for now, right? At least for now. Right there. It's dead on, right? It's dead on. The exact low. So it's interesting. It's interesting, right? It's definitely interesting. That's all I'm going to say. So watch that, right? Watch that 555. Bailando. 555, 558. That's Tuesday, Wednesday's lows, right? Right here, right? 558, right here. And it's very clear, right? It's very clear that 558 Tuesday's lows. So that's something you're watching today, right? I'd watch that 558 very clearly today. If you get a pullback and hold at 558, that could be a little bit of an interesting long, right? That would be a pullback hold at Tuesday, Wednesday's lows. That's a pretty nice long, right? That was a long Wednesday. It was a long Tuesday. It could be a long again today, right, at 558. To the upside, 560. That's really the big spot above, right? 560, 560, watch 560, okay? You got to get over 560 for confirmation of more. If you get above 560, guys, you're almost fully back to yesterday's move, which is pretty crazy, right? You've pretty much already retraced on this SPY. You've already retraced 50% of yesterday's move. So we'll see, right? We shall see. 560 is the big spot. Be careful there. If you fall lower, watch 558. If you break under 558, you're coming back down to that 555. All right? Pretty clear SPY levels today. Tom, appreciate that, brother. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate the $5 donation. All right, guys. So that's it. I wanted to make sure to go pretty in-depth with the market analysis today. 215 IWM, very clear. Because this is a very important day, guys. There's going to be a lot of questions. I mean, the Dow is almost back to 41.1. Holy crap. Yeah, the Dow held the level. Dow held this level nicely. Holy shit. Yeah. Dow held really nicely there. That Dow looks like it's ready for new highs. I mean, that Dow looks ready to break yesterday's highs for sure. I mean, not for sure, right? Nothing's for sure, but that's a pretty aggressive bounce back on the Dow. The other thing, guys, the last thing I'm going to state here that sort of catches my interest on this drop is the banks. The banks are very strong, and I would expect the banks to not be strong here if the market was really looking to, there's still the XLP is going straight up still, right? The XLF is very strong. JP Morgan's at a high. Goldman Sachs is at a high. So those banks are pretty strong. I'm not that concerned about what happened yesterday yet. I'm really not. So, yeah, and the way that Dow is back is pretty crazy. That Dow is pretty much straight back to yesterday's highs. Almost, right? So we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. We're just going to have to react to it, right? We got to do it every day, right? You didn't expect this to come in yesterday, or at least I didn't, not in this manner, right? So every day we can make our game plans. Let's just stick to these levels. Let's just trade the action, right? At the end of the day, that's the key, right? We can make this analysis. We can get in tune with what's going on. We can know what levels we need to watch, get an idea of what to do, right? But we got to stay fluid at the market open, To any direction that happens, we got to accept it. That's the key. So for me, I'll sort of give you a rough game plan of what I'm going to be watching today, right? 560, I got to see that break, right? I got to see that break. I got to see 560. If 560 gets broken and holds above, I think I'm going to look for that upside. If we reject 560, I will take very careful there. Very possible rejections. If we do get a morning pullback, I'm definitely watching 558, right? And I'm definitely watching that ES Tuesday lows around this 56.15, 56.10. On the Nasdaq, I got to see us above Tuesday's lows. 19,750, I need to see that level break. I need to see a confirmation above that. If I don't see this, then I am not longing today, right? I need to see us over 750 at the very minimum. This could be a very clear rejection play at 750 as well. But I would want to see us over 750. The only reason why I find it a little bit hard to short today is because you'd be shorting right back into this 50 SMA on the Nasdaq futures, right? That is tough. You're shorting right back into the 50 SMA. That is sort of tough there. Where I'd probably get very aggressive on the short side today is a break back under that 50, right? A break back under that Nasdaq 50 SMA would probably be where I get a little bit more aggressive on the short side. That would probably line up around a break under this 476.30, right? But then the problem there is, right, you're shorting into that thick boy down there. So it's tough, right? You definitely have some demands below to be careful of on the short side. I would definitely watch the Tuesday lows 478.50, right, on the Qs. And you have Powell's speech at 10, right? And so what you could do, right, what you could do here today is you can say, all right, I'm going to watch these levels for the first 30 minutes into Powell's speech. I'm going to get a good understanding of what's happening here, and then I'll try to take advantage of it after, right? You could do something like that, okay? All right, press that like button, man. All that analysis, and we can't even get 1,000 likes, man. Tough. Tesla, 214, ugly. Ugly. Rejections at 214, that is still very weak. Tesla's got to get over 214. I would not look to long Tesla today unless it is over 214 at a very minimum. 210 is a major spot for Tesla. If you get under 210, this could really drop, right? This could really drop. Tesla under 210 could really drop. Under 210, I think you go straight down to like 203, right? I think you go like straight down to 203. Down to that 200 SMA. Down, you have this straight up move here. You can get straight down. Okay, so definitely watch 210 today on Tesla. That looks like a very interesting spot. And the underperformance here is pretty wild. I do not like Tesla today unless it needs to do something crazy, right? It looks very weak, right? 214 rejecting, even have this 215.50 rejection possible. This looks pretty weak. So be careful, 214, 215. Under 210 is where it gets very aggressive. I would be watching that. NVIDIA pretty weak as well. All day, especially after that 129.50 rejection. You have this 127 rejection. This 125 level is going to be key. So let me show you this 125. Right at 219, Richie, is when I cut it. Yeah, right under that 219 stop loss. That was a big cut yesterday, right? Very thankful I took my losses yesterday. NVIDIA, 125. Looks to be very important today, right here. 125, I think you got to hold above that 125. If NVIDIA breaks under 125, I think you trade right back down to that 122.50, right? If you start to get weak under 125, you can curl a little bit lower to that 122.50. If it holds over 125, then I think you can probably trade back up towards maybe that 127 today. So it's all going to be about 125 today. Obviously, 125 and the overall market. But right here, 125 is definitely the level I'm watching today on NVIDIA. So keeping an eye there on NVIDIA. 125, big spot. AMD, sort of interested if the market does get weak, guys. If the market gets weak, or at least maybe if semiconductors have some weakness here, this is a very interesting short to me. If AMD does a little break and retest rejection of this 50 SMA, I think this is a great watch for a short into 148, right? If we turn these lows and this 50 SMA back into a rejection point on a little bear flag here, this is a really textbook setup for downside, right? Something like this. I really like the way that looks. So we'll see. I would love this. 155, right? 50 SMA rejection. If we see some market weakness, that looks very clean. That is definitely something I will be watching today. Okay? Broadcom, I want to point out Broadcom because this thing is a beast. Again, another beast, right? Broadcom holding really well, right? Really well. I mean, really solid Broadcom hold. 162, 162, 162. That is a very solid hold for Broadcom. And I would assume, this thing could probably just consolidate again. But you could try the longs off this 162 area, maybe to see if something happens. But looks sort of sideways, which I don't love. But I did want to point out that Broadcom held really, really well yesterday. Something I would watch. MU, ooh. Yeah, MU sort of. What's going on with MU in the pre-market? We get some news? Shout out Habibi. Where's Habibi? MU, nice little 106 rejection. Did we get some news on? I prefer ARM holdings to Intel, says Jim. Oh, get out of ARM. Run for the hills. I'm not sure what's happening to MU right now. But 102. 102, that's the big support. That's the big support. Watch that 102. I'm not sure what's causing this downside pre-market, but that was a really nice retest rejection right there. 106. All right, SMCI. SMCI still sort of in the same channel, so interesting watch here. 600 to around 640 it looks like. Not much really, just sort of downside yesterday with the market, but it did hold this whole week's lows. So keep an eye on that 600 on SMCI. That's sort of interesting there. TSM failed that 173 again. You guys can see right there, another 173 rejection. Down support at around that 165. You're just right in the center. I don't like anything there. Apple, resilient as ever. Another pretty solid hold on Apple, 224. You guys can see that right here, right? 224, 224, 224, 224. Another hold on Apple. 228's the heavy supply. You're just right in the center of this channel, guys. Really nothing to do here on Apple. Unless you see a rejection at 228, unless you see a dip buy at 224, you can't really get involved right in the center there. Microsoft, thank God I exited that position. I did the right thing, took some profits. That was very smart, and that's going to, every time you take profits, you're always thankful for it, man. You find a way. Almost every time you're like, oh, I'm happy I take profits, right? It always ends up that way. So I'm just going to continue to do what I do. Once again, 417, right? And this 414. Keep an eye on these two levels, right? 414 in that daily 20, very strong hold. You guys can see this 417. That's the level I originally longed Microsoft off of. You're back at it. So let's see. Does 417 hold? Something to watch. Keep an eye on that 417. Amazon, really clear hold to this 176 level. Looks like you need to get over the 179, though. So 176, 179. That's the zone I'd be watching there. Meta, strong. And was really strong yesterday and is really maintaining well versus overall market. So that's sort of interesting. Right here, 530 holding strong. 534 holding again. And so I would be watching this 540 and then that all-time high. Basically, yesterday we rejected all-time highs. So I would watch the 534 and I'd watch the 530 today. Those are the two longs that I'd watch. I would be careful of the 540 supply above. Okay? Costco? Yeah, it's all right. I'm going to skip Costco for now. CrowdStrike rejected that 276 yesterday. We're holding back at this 268 and this Wednesday low. So I'd watch that 268. That's very clear there. The rejection or the potential hold that I'd watch is 271. Okay? 271 on CrowdStrike. Meta does well during, it's strong. And there's been a lot of volume in Meta lately. Like these last 2 days, I know you guys can't quite see this. Let me move this up. These last 2 days on Meta have been very heavy volume versus prior days. So there's something going on with Meta lately. You've seen that volume really step in. And it's been outperforming pretty nicely. Coinbase, I mean, I haven't mentioned it because Coinbase has been in the same exact spot for almost 2 months. A couple weeks. Exaggerating a little bit. But, I mean, 208, same level. 201, same level. 188, 190, same level. I mean, it's just sitting in the middle of this channel, man. I wouldn't be involved in coin when it's doing this, guys. Not interesting in the slightest. All right. Yeah, Google. Watch Google 166.50. Big level here. All right. Major previous highs. Watch 166.50 on Google. That is big time there. All right. You got to hold above that 166.50. If you don't, you're turning these levels back into rejections, and that's dangerous. So watch 166.50 there. What else? Netflix actually looks very strong to me, man. Netflix is unfazed here. Look at this. Look at this hold on Netflix. 685, 685, 685. Look at this hold and look at this curl going on. This is pretty strong still on Netflix. All-time high, 700.99. I mean, this is something to watch here, right? Keep an eye on that 685. Keep an eye on that 701. That is a very interesting little maintain there. What's going on with Dell? Everyone wants to see Dell today. I mean, it's right at our level, guys. Look at this thing. We haven't even touched. I haven't looked at Dell in months. And it's still at the exact. Yeah, it's right there. 114. Probably more like 115. That's going to be a very clear must break here, guys, right? 115. That's pretty clear. Got to break that. But nice little holds above the 20 and 200. But I would want to see, that hold over 115 here. Netflix waving a flat. I mean, that's a pretty nice looking Netflix hold, but we shall see, right? It depends on the market, of course. So let's take a quick peek back in the market, see what she's up to. Yeah, man, still pretty strong into this 750, but we need to get that break. We need that 750 break. QQQ is holding over Tuesday's lows. ES still trying to climb back towards that 5630. You are still above that Tuesday low. And SPY 560, man. 560. And very clearly over Tuesday's lows here. That 558. 560 on SPY, guys. All right, man, it's going to be an interesting day. It's going to be an interesting next few days after that move. So let's see. Be safe out there. Be smart. Take it easy. Take it easy. You got Jerome Powell 30 minutes after open. Don't do anything too silly before that NVIDIA or before that Jerome, man. Let Jerome talk. Let the market shake out, and then let's see if we can catch a nice move today. All right? Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.
I think the girls with their nails done now.